Isang magandang buhay sa inyong lahat. Bago po muna ako magsimula, please do not forget to subscribe in my YouTube channel. Maraming salamat. Okay, so ngayon, we are going to discuss this describing data with numerical measures. So our goal is to calculate the arithmetic mean, weighted mean, median, mode, and geometric mean. And then we can explain the characteristic uses, the advantages and disadvantages of each measure of locations. And we can identify the position of the mean, median, and mode for both symmetric and skewed distributions. And we can compute and interpret the range, mean, deviation, variance, and standard deviation. Okay, first, we're going to discuss the frequency distribution. This is a table that organizes the data values into classes on intervals along with number of values that fall in each class. So this will be your frequency. So meron tayong tinatawag na ungroup tsaka yung group. Sa ungroup, frequency distribution for data sets with few different values, each value is in its own class. For the group of frequency distribution for data sets with many different values which are grouped together in classes. So ito yung ating example for the ungroup. So pag nakita nyo taken courses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So ito yung mga frequency niya na kumuha ng mga yan. Pagka sinabing group, meron tayong, kumbaga, may bracket tayo, kumbaga. So, we have 18 to 30. So, sa 18 to 30, we have 202 ang frequency niya. Sa 31 to 42, we have 508, 43, and 54. So, we have 620. For 55 to 66, we have 413. 67 to 78 is 158. 78 to 90 is 32. So, ayan yung ating difference ng dalawang category. We have ungrouped and group. And then, for example, for the ungrouped frequency distribution, we have number p's in the peak pad. So, ito, pag binilang mo lahat yan, 50 yan. Ayan. So, makita natin. So, pag inayos natin yan, here, ayan. So, ika-categorize natin yung p's per pad. Ayan. Okay. Tapos, frequency. Titingnan natin. Okay, for example, sa 1, ayan, ilan dito ang pumasok sa piece per pad natin sa 1? So, nakita ko dito, 1, ayan, oh. And then sa 2, ilan ang pumasok natin sa 2? Check muna natin sa column na to. So, dito, meron tayong isa. So, dito. So, we have 2. So, dito, wala ulit. So, we have 2. Okay, sa 3. Dito, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, we have 5. Di ba? Sa 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Di ba? So, ganun din sa 5, in 8, and 6, and 7. So, bibilangin mo lang dito. So, yan yung tinatawag natin na ungroup. Di ba? Okay, next. So, for the frequency histogram, a bar graph that represents the frequency distribution. So, the horizontal scale is the quantitative and measure the data values. Ito ro yun. Yan, so horizontal. Unlike sa vertical, ito ro yung measures that ng frequency of classes. Yan. Ito yung consecutive bar must touch. Yan. Kumbaga ganun. So, ito yung Y, ito yung X. So, yung Y na yun, frequency yun ha. Doon lang yun. Okay. So, for the example natin yung kanina, yan. Ito nakuha natin kunyari, yan. Nakuha natin. So, pag in-histogram natin or ginarap na natin siya, so ito yung ating piece per pad, ayan. Ito yung frequency natin. Ngayon, doon sa 1, so ayan lang yon. Sa 2, ayan, dalawa. Sa 3, ayan, may 5 frequency. Andiyan sa 5 ang frequency. Sa 4, andito tayo sa 9. Ayan. Sa 5, we have 18. Ayan, nandito. Mas marami yun. Sa 6, bababa tayo kasi 12 lang siya ang pumasok frequency. And the 7 is tatlo. So, ganyan siya nag-ayos yan. Ang kanyang frequency histogram. So, nagkakaintindihan po ba tayo doon? Maraming salamat. Sana naintindihan niyo yung sinasabi ko na yan. Okay. Next. So, sa relative frequency distribution shows the proportion of percentage of the data that falls in a particular class. For example, we have relative frequency is equal to class frequency over the sample size. So, relative frequency histogram has the same shape and the same horizontal scale as the corresponding frequency histogram. So, the vertical scale measures the relative frequencies, not frequencies. Relative frequencies. Okay, not the frequencies. Okay. So, has the same shape and horizontal scale as a histogram, but the vertical scale is marked with relative frequency. So, ito yung ating sample. So, this will be our relative frequency: 20%, 30%, 35%, 3%, and 5%. So, ito yung ating mga sample. Yan, nag-start tayo 0.5. Yan. So, dyan pumasok. Ito, dyan. Kasi 0 to 99, ayan, hanggang dyan, nasa 28% lang. So, 100 to 199, we have 30%. Ayun. So, kumbaga, ito yung pinapakita ng frequency ng histogram, relative frequency ng bar natin, o yung graph natin. Ganyan. So, for the data sets with many different values, for the group frequency distribution to, ha. So, group data into 5 to 20 classes of equal with yung F na yung frequency yan. Okay. For example, ayan, exam scores. Ayan. Siguro, between 30 to 39, ilan ang nakakuha nun? 40 to 49, ilan din? 50 to 59, ilan din? 60 to 69, ilan din? And then 70 to 79, ilan din na nakakuha? So, and so on and so forth. For example, sa 30 to 38, isa lang na nakakuha. Sa 40 to 49, 0. Pero sa 50 to 59, 4, 60 to 69, 9, 70 to 79, 13. Ang dami nakakuha dito, di ba? Na-score na yun. So 80 to 89 is we have 10. Then 90 to 99, we have 3. Di ba? So, pero tatatlo lang yung medyo mataas. For the lower class, limits are the smallest number that can actually belong to the different classes. For the upper class, limits are the largest numbers that can actually belong to different classes. Class width is the difference between two consecutive lower classes. Tatandaan nyo to, ha, gagamitin natin yan mamaya o later on. Okay, check nyo yan. Okay, so sa class midpoint, actually, the value halfway between lower class limit and then the upper class limit. So pag gano'n, add mo yung dalawa and i-divide mo sa 2. So makukuha mo yung class midpoint nila. Pag sa class boundaries naman, class halfway between an upper class limit and the next lower class limit. So, ayan. Ganun din, plus, and then i-divide mo dito sa 2. Di ba? Upper class limit plus the next lower class limit over 2. Yun yung class boundaries. Okay, so what are the characteristics of the mean? So the arithmetic mean is the most widely used measure of location. It requires the interval scale. Its major characteristics are: all values are used, the sum of deviation from the mean is 0, it is unique, and it is calculated by summing the values and dividing the number of values. Actually, itong mean na to, ito karamihan ginagamit sa research eh. Kasi pinakasimple na gamitin. Kaya madalas ito ang ginagamit. At madali siyang gamitin, di ba? So we have two types of mean. So we have the population mean and then the sample mean. For the population mean, for ungrouped data, the population mean is the sum of all the population values divided by the total number of population values. So we have population mean, so summation of x over n, where x is representing any particular value, and then yung mean na n natin will be the number of the values in the population. Okay, for example, so there are 12 automobiles manufacturing companies automobile manufacturing companies in the United States. So listed below is the the number of patents granted by the United States government to each company in a recent year. So we have the company, tsaka yung number of patent nila, ito ang company, pare-parehas. So in this information, a sample or a population? Siyempre, alam natin population mean to, di ba? So what is the arithmetic mean of or number of patents granted? O, di ba? Check natin. So, we have the population mean. So, aadin natin lahat yun. So, pag nakuha natin yan lahat, yung 511 plus 385 plus 275 plus 257 plus 234 plus 210 plus 97 plus 50 plus 36 plus 23 plus 13. So, pag nakuha mo na lahat ng value yan, saka may divide sa 12. So, our population mean is 195. So, yun yung ating sagot. 195. Di ba? Okay, for the sample mean, for group data, the sample mean is the sum of all the sample values divided by the number of sample values. So, sample mean is the x or bar x will be the sample mean and will be the number of values in the sample. For example, Globe Telecom is studying the number of minutes used monthly by clients in a particular cell phone rate plan. So a random sample of 12 clients showed the following number of minutes used last month. Okay, so we have 90, 91, 77, 110, 94, 92, 89, 100, 119, 113, 112, 83 minutes. So what is the arithmetic mean number of minutes used? Okay, check natin. So ang gagawin natin is i-add natin lahat yan. So pagka-add mo, i-divide mo rin sa 12 kasi 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 yung ating kliyente. Ayan. So makukuha natin is 97.5. So ayan yung arithmetic or yung kanilang sample mean. Yan, di ba? Kanilang kliyente ng Globe. Okay, next. Paano na yan? Arithmetic group. For sample means, so we have to get for the midpoint. So get the multiply by the frequency. And then after nun, we have use the total number of the frequency and we will get the sample mean. Okay, check natin. Okay, so we have a frequency distribution for the vehicle selling prices. The information is repeated below. So determine the arithmetic mean vehicle selling price. So in million to ha. Kunyari, karating million. Pag used car, hanggang 7. Ayan. So ito yung mga frequency niya. So ang total natin ay 80. Tandaan nyo yan ha. Okay, so check natin. Ang midpoint na to, yung 0.5 plus 0.7. O, ilan ang sagot nun? Kasi actually, kukunin natin midpoint ng dalawa. Yan. Diba? 0.5 plus 0.7 is equal to 1.2. I-divide natin sa 2. So, makukuha natin 0.6. Ayan. 0.6, 0.9, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 2.1, and 2.4. So, ito yung mga midpoint niya. And then, so, we have solve for the fx. So, yung frequency, multiplied natin 0.6, ito yun, 4.8. 23 times 0.9, 20.7. 17 times 1.2, 20.4. 18 times 1.5 is 27. 8 times 1.8 is 14.4. 4 times 2.1 is 8.4. 2 times 22.4 is 4.8. So, aadin natin lahat yan. Pag nakuha natin dyan is 100.5. So, para solving ng ating mean, sample mean is 100.5. I-divide natin sa 80. So, we have 1.26. So, ito yung ating mean. Oh, nasusundan niyo yung ginawa ko, ha? Ulitin ko, itong midpoint na to, dito nang galing yan. 0.5 plus 0.7, kunin mo yung total nila, saka mo i-divide sa 2, makukuha mo to. Tapos yan, pag multiplyin mo, yun ang makukuha mo. Kaya nga, fx, ito yung f, ito yung x. O, diba? So, madali lang. Next. So, the properties of arithmetic mean. So, every set of interval level or ratio level data has a mean. All the values are included in computing the mean. A set of data has unique mean. The mean is affected by unusually large or small data values. The arithmetic mean is the only measure of central tendency where the sum of the deviation of each value from the mean is 0. So, next is the median. Pag sinabing median, median, midpoint, we're referring for the midpoint of the values after they have been ordered from the smallest to largest. So there are as many values above the median as below. It in the data array. So for an even set of values, the median will be the arithmetic average of the two middle numbers. Paano ba yung mga yan? Okay, ganito yan. For example, yung properties natin muna pala. So there is a unique median for each data set. It's not affected by extremely large or small values, and it's therefore a valuable measure of central tendency when such values occur. So it can be computed for ratio level, interval level, or ordinal level data. So it can be computed for an open-ended frequency distribution if the median does not lie in an open-ended class. Okay, for example yan, di ba? So, ito yung ating data. So, makita mo sa una, dito, median eh. So, makita mo kagad yung pinakagitna. So, ibig sabihin, yun ating median. Di ba? Sa ungrouped na yan. Kasi 2, 5, 6, 11, 13. So, ito yung kukunin natin. Yun ang ating median. O, di ba? Isa mo, ito naman. Pagka, kasi to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alam mo na kagad to. Ito, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anim siya. So, wala siyang gitna. So, tendency, kunin mo yung dalawang gitna. Saka mo i-add. Pagka-add mo, i-divide mo sa 2. Makukuha natin median yan. O, di ba? Madali lang. Okay, nasusundan nyo ha. Okay, so the age for the sample of 5 colleges or college students are, so we have here a sample. Nakita nyo, hindi siya naka-arrange. I-arrange muna natin siya. So, magiging 19, 20, 21, 22, and 25. So, pag nakita mo na dyan, alam mo na kagad na ito ang ating median. Kasi yun na nasa gitna. Di ba? Oh, di ba? Dali. Okay, next. So, the height of 4 basketball players in inches are 76, 73, 80, and 75. So, i-arrange na uli natin yan. 73, 75, 76, and 80. So, nakita nyo, wala tayong gitna. Kasi even to. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, ang gawin natin, kunin natin dalawang gitna. So, pag kinuha natin 75 plus 76, dinivide natin, kinuha may total, dinivide na sa 2, makuha kami 75.5. Yun yung ating mean. Or median pala, I mean, ng ating sample. Nagkakaintindihan po ba tayo? Yay! Buti naintindihan nila. Okay. Next, paano naman mode? Mode is the value of the observation that appears most frequently. Okay. Dito sa bar na to, makikita mo kagad na ito ang ating mode kasi ang dami ang frequency, oh. Ang dami ang number of respondents. Sila more, di ba? Okay, next. Sample. So the data entry that occurs with the greatest frequency. If no entry is repeated, the data set has no mode. If two entries occur with the same greatest frequency, each entry is a mode. O bimodal ang tawag. Yan o, bimodal. Okay, dito, 5.4, 1.1, 0.42, 0.73, 0.48, and 1.1. So nakita nyo, dalawang beses binanggit yung 1.1. So ito yung mode natin. Di ba? O dito naman, 27, 27, 27, 25, 25, 55, 88, 88, 89. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So yun ang pinakamarami. Tatlong beses na binanggit. So 27 and 55. So dito, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Walang naulit. So, ibig sabihin, wala tayong mode. Di ba? Walang mode dyan. No mode. Okay. So, the annual salaries of an architect in selected companies in the Philippines are shown below. So, what is the modal annual salary? So, company A hanggang company O. So, ito yung mga average salary na ibinigay nila. So, makita mo dyan. So, alin ang masyadong naulit? Naulit yung 40,000. Naulit ang 60,000. So, yun lang ba ang naulit? So, pag yun lang, check natin kung ilan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 na beses. Ang 40,000, 1, 2, dalawang beses lang. So, ang kagad natin ay 60,000. Di ba? So, 60,000 ang ating mode. Di ba? Ang dali lang. Okay. So, the relative position of the mean, median, and the mode. So, ganito yan. Pag ito kasi, pag nag-equal-equal yung mean, median, mode mo, ibig sabihin, zero skewness tayo. Ayan, ito yung ating graph. Okay. Pagka mas malaki ang median mo, yung mode mo, mas malaki ang median, pero mas malaki pa rin ang mean. So, ito ang ating positive ang ating skewness. Parang ganyan itsura. Diba? Ayan o. Makikita mo yan o. Diba? Positive ang skewness natin. Pero kung mas maliit ang mode mo compare sa median at compare naman sa mean, negative ang skewness mo. Kaya ganun. Diba? Nagkakaintindihan tayo. Okay. So, paano naman yung range? So, the range is the difference between the lowest value and the highest value. So, the number of cappuccinos sold at the Starbucks location in the SM Cabanatuan City between 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. for example of 5 days lasts for 20, 40, 50, 60, 80. Actually, noon yan. Ngayon, malabo na kasi because of the pandemic. Di ba? Mabihira na nagkakape ngayon dun sa Starbucks. So, we have to determine the mean deviation for the number of cappuccinos sold. Okay, so sabi yan, range, largest value minus the smallest value. So, the largest value is 80, the smallest is 20. So, we have the range ay 60. O, di ba? Madali lang. Okay, next. So, mean deviation. Doon sa sample na yon, so alam natin na ay nawala dito yung may ganun doon, no? Hindi siya nakita yung violet na yun. Okay, so ang gagawin natin, ang mean natin ay ilan nakuha natin 60. So ang median natin dito is 50. Ayan. So, ayan. Ang median natin, ayan, median. Okay. So, ba't ba na hindi nakita yung ating kwan? So, 20 minus 50 is negative 30. 40 minus negative 10. 50 minus 50, 0. 60 minus 50 is 10. 80 minus 50 is 30. So, pag kinuha natin yan, hindi kasama yung sign na ha. So, aadin natin sila, we have 80. Di ba? So, yung ating summation. Nagkakaintindihan tayo? Okay. Next, ayan, the median, ayan o, 80 over 5 is 16. Diba? Kasi mas maganda kasi pagka naka-table, mas madali kaysa iisa-isahin natin yan, di ba? Mas mahirapan tayo. Okay. Next. Mali ang sagot natin kanina. Ay, hindi. Range pala yon. Ang median pala nito ay is 50. Kasi pagka ito, in-add natin lahat yan, dahil is 100, 250, di ba? 250 divide 5 is 50. Kaya yon. So, yun ang nakita natin. Nakuha natin pala yung mean. Yan. So, 16. Range nga pala yung sinolve natin kanina. Okay, so next. So, here, the variance naman tayo. So, meron dito naman, the number of traffic citation issued during the last 5 months in Cabanatuan City. Napaka-traffic dito. So, 38, 26, 13, 41, and 22. So, what is the population variance? So, pag chinek mo yan, so ito yan. So, pag inad mo lahat yan, so we have 140. So, ngayon, yung 28 na to, 140, yan, di ba? Makita mo yan, 140 divide 5 is 28. So, 38 minus 28 is positive 10, negative 2, negative 15, positive 13, negative 6. Pag in-squared natin siya, kasama ang sign ha, i-squared mo kasama ang sign, do not forget. So, 100, 4, 225, 169, 336. I-add mo lahat ngayon yan. So, makukuha natin 534. So, pag nakuha natin yan, for the standard variance natin, ayan, population variance mana. So, 534 over 5 is 106.88. So, ayan yung ating variance. Diba? Madali lang. Next. So, the hourly wages for the sample of part-time employees at Home Depot, Cabanatuan are 200, 210, 220, 250, and 300. So, what is the sample variance? So, ganun ulit. Di natin yan. So, makukuha natin yung ating mean at 236. Yan. So, 200 minus 236 is negative 36, negative 26, negative 16, positive 14, and positive 64. So, i-score natin siya. Nakasama ang mga signs. So, lahat yan. 21296, 676, 256, 196, and 4096. Pag in-add natin yan, we have 6,520. So, sa substitute natin do para makuha natin yung sample variance natin. Okay, so 6,520 over 5 minus 1. So, we have 1,630. So, yan yung ating sagot. Di ba? Madali lang. Madali lang, di ba? Okay, next. For the standard deviation of group data, so this is the formula. Standard deviation is equal to square root of summation of frequency multiplied with quantity of x minus the mean raised to squared all over n minus 1. Okay, so these are the, ibig sabihin yun, midpoint of the class, di ba? This is mean, yun. Okay. So, ito yung kaninang sample natin tungkol sa kotse, di ba? So, ito yung frequency natin, tsaka yung midpoint. So, ngayon, kukunin natin, pag kakuha natin dito, yung mean natin, tsaka yun, maminus natin sa midpoint. 0.6 minus the midpoint, negative 0.66. 0.9 minus 1.26 is negative 0.36. 1.2 minus 1.26, 0.06. 1.5 minus 1.26, positive 0.24. Ito, positive 0.5, ay 54 pala, I mean. Positive 0.84, positive 1.14. So, ito yung mean yan, ha. Ito yun, no. Nakuha natin yung kanina na mean. Yung unang-unang natin is 1.26. Yung pinakauna, ito yun, ha. Baka magtaka kayo. Ito yun, no. Tingnan natin. Pakita ko sa inyo. Asan niya yung mean natin na yun? Ayan. Di ba? 1.26. So, doon ko nakuha yan, ha. Baka kasi magtaka kayo kung saan ko siya kinuha. Ayan. Okay. So, ito naman, Pagkakuha natin nito, i-score natin bawat isa kasi magpa-positive naman eh, di ba? Kasi nakasama ang sign ha, 0 point. Huwag yung hindi isasama, nako, delikado. Sama nyo na. O, kahit na huwag nyo isama, okay lang, pero huwag nyo lalagyan ng sign dito. Okay lang yun. So, pag ni-score nyo to, 0.4356, 0.1296, 0.0036, 0.576, 0.2916, 0.7056, and 1.2996. Ito yan. Ngayon, bawat isa, i-multiply natin ang frequency. So, 8 times 0.4356, 3.448. 23 multiplied 0.1296 is 2.9808. 17 multiplied 0.0036, 0.0612. 18 times 0.0576, 1.0368. 8 times 0.2916 is 2.3328. And 4 times 0.7056, 2.8224. And then 2 times 1.2996 is 2.5992. Pag inad natin lahat yan, so makukuha natin tong summation na to. Ayan, lahat yan. So, kunin na natin. So, we have standard deviation, square root of summation frequency multiplied by a quantity of x minus mean, raised to square root all over n minus 1. So, we have 15.318 over 80 minus 1. So, we have 0.44. Ayun, so, yan yung ating standard deviation. Okay. So, nagkakaintindihan tayo. Okay, next. So, that will be our last sample pala. Okay. So, by next meeting, medyo magko-compute pa rin tayo ng mga natin para ng mga ibang problem para medyo magkaintindihan tayo. So, I hope na naintindihan nyo yung di-discuss ko. Kung may mga tanong, comment lang sa chat box. Maraming salamat. God bless sa inyong lahat. Ingat po tayong lahat. Ciao!